Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to read a book called The Last Train. The author's grandfather was a railroad man. He drove the trains around. His father sold tickets until they closed the station down. Now the tracks that shone like silver have turned to rusty brown. 30 years ago, the last train rode through town. Based on a song by the acclaimed musician Gordon Titcomb, this is a hauntingly beautiful tribute to a bygone era when everyone traveled by train. Let's have a read together. There's a little railroad station in the center of our town. The windows boarded up, the roof is falling down. If you close your eyes and listen, you can almost hear the sound of those big iron horses rolling into town. My granddad was a railroad man. He drove the trains around. My daddy, he sold tickets till they closed the station down. Now the tracks that shone like silver have turned to rusty brown. 30 years ago, the last train rode through town. I'm riding on the city of New Orleans, thinking about the Wabash Cannonball. Oh, midnight flyer, hear that lonesome freight train whistle call? Old cigar box filled with memories, my boyhood souvenirs. The watch they gave my daddy when he put in 20 years. Now the flattened copper pennies look like little metal tears that a railroad cries before it disappears. A ticket punch that clicked a million snowflakes every year. The faded union dues card of a railroad engineer. Each item marks a chapter in a story we hold dear. Sweet memories of a railroad man's career. Oh, the brakeman with his oil can. The porter dressed in white. The fireman with his shovel full of jet black anthracite. Gone now, like a dream that slowly faded in the night, are the faces of this once familiar sight. Oh, the steam gave way to diesel and electric-powered trains. Now the rails look up at contrails from jet-powered airplanes. A blast of steam, the whistle screamed its mournful last refrains, long silent, though its echo still remains. At the end of this book, the author has left a special note. As a young boy, I would often accompany my parents to the local railroad station to await the arrival of a family member or guest that was coming to visit us. The station itself was very much like the one that Wendell has so wonderfully painted for you in this book. Another of my early memories is that of spending summer nights at my grandparents' farm and hearing a train whistle off in the distance as I was laying in bed before going to sleep. When I was 6 years old, my grandmother took me on a vacation that involved crossing a huge expanse of Canada via railroad. It is funny how some details that I remember from that trip might seem so insignificant, yet they have left indelible memories. Things like the funny-looking key that the porter would use to lower our bunks from their daytime positions, the steaming porcelain bowls of oatmeal, and small silver-plated pitchers of cocoa, proudly emblazoned with the railroad company's logo, or the smell of hot grease that you would encounter as you crossed from one car to another. All of these memories are like a vivid collage of sights, sounds, smells, and emotions that remain forever clear in my mind. As much as the artifacts of the railroad left their impression on me, the people of the railroad left an even greater one. While I never knew the conductors, engineers, or porters' names, I certainly came to know their cheerful smiles and kind ways. What child did not love singing, "I've been working on the railroad"? For me, other railroad songs would follow, like the Wabash Cannonball. In the early 1970s, the Eagles and the Osborne brothers sang Midnight Flyer, and my good friend Arlo Guthrie recorded Steve Goodman's brilliant quintessential railroad song, City of New Orleans. I suspect all of these songs, and many others, were inspired by the very same thing, the hauntingly melancholy strain of a locomotive's whistle, the rhythmic clack of wheels to rails, but most of all, knowing that the latticework of rails you were looking at or riding on were connected to almost any other place in the country that you could imagine. Steve Goodman recognized that when he penned the brilliant lyric, "Ride Their Father's Magic Carpet Made of Steel," this book, and the song that sprung it were born of the same sentiments.